Hello there and welcome to the segment of Take 5 with Tony. We're going to pick up on our conversation last time on investment. You might recall that while most of us think of investment as putting some resources in today in order to secure prosperity or a good return in the future, Wall Street has a very different definition of investment. They look upon it simply as using money to make money, not as productive long-term gain. Well, you might have a little money in a savings account, or perhaps you're starting to build for your retirement. You think, well, if not Wall Street, where do I put my money? If Wall Street is a dead end, what other choices do I have? Well, here's the exciting part. Pioneering people like Michael Schumann and Elizabeth Yu and others have begun to open the door to a new way of investing in your own local economy. Also, a federal law passed in 2012, the so-called Jobs Act, has changed some of the regulations that now makes it a little more possible for ordinary folks like you and I to put our money directly into businesses. It's an emerging field of local investment, of local wealth building that we can only begin to talk about today. And I want to use two examples to illustrate the point. One is something called slow money. Now, you've probably heard of slow food, that wonderful alternative to fast food started by Carlo Petrini. Building on that same idea, a fellow named Woody Tash wrote a book that has led to the creation of a national network of slow money investment pools. They're all over. They're in California, they're in Oregon, they're in Massachusetts, they're in North Carolina. And what this is groups of local people, some with significant resources, some with very modest resources, who come together and pool their funds and then invest them in local businesses, mostly sustainable food and farming type businesses. Now, this slow money is modeled on the notion that if we want our world to be a better place, more democratic, more just, and more sustainable, our money has to also support those very same kinds of enterprises. We can't, on the one hand, seek a better world over here, and on the other hand, have our money going to businesses that undermine our values. That's the idea behind slow money, and it's taking hold. Some estimates over $45 million has been invested in little bits and pieces all over the country. Secondly is another very interesting idea called LION, Local Investment Opportunity Networks. Now, these are just groups of people who come together, again, with different levels of resources, but with a commitment to supporting and investing in local businesses. Lion clubs, as they're called, don't actually pool their money, and they don't, as a group, make decisions. They don't review loan applications. But what they do is they create sort of a meet and greet, a matchmaker type thing, where people with some money to invest meet local business people running restaurants, running creative businesses, running roofing companies. And then, as they get to know these businesses, they decide on their own who they would like to put their money into and structure their own agreements, almost always at much more reasonable rates than these same folks would have to pay on the open market. Lion clubs, local investment opportunity networks, slow money. Just two examples of alternatives to investing that are not only probably safer than Wall Street in the long run, but much more a reflection of the kinds of values that many of us hold. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.